Hi friends, we have completed our chapter number 1, that is regarding electric charge and electric field. That was electrostatics part 1. Now we move over to electrostatics part 2, that's chapter number 2. This chapter is having electric potential and capacitance as the title. Let's connect it to the first chapter. In the first chapter we had studied about electrostatics, in which the chapter number 1 we included was very first thing we studied about electric charge, what it is and what are different properties of it. Electric charge we studied. In electric charge we took 3 properties. First was quantization of electric charge. That says all the charge are integer multiple of some basic value E. Second property was conservation of electric charge. Then the third property was distribution of electric charge. Conservation says total charge remains constant, while distribution says that equal distribution. When 2 spheres of equal size brought in contact, then charge is distributed equally. So 3 properties of electric charge we have studied. This was the first topic we did in chapter number 1. Then we started with electric force. In electric force we saw what it is and we studied Coulomb's law, giving the value of electric force. Coulomb's law we obtained F is equal to K Q1 Q2 upon R square. That was a scalar form. And in vector form we used to say force on 1 by 2 given by this way. Force on 1 by 2 we obtained by this formula. So this was Coulomb's law in vector form. This was the force between 2 charges. If more than 2 charges are there, multiple charge system, then we took the formula for force. We saw that it is sum of all the forces acting on the charge particle. Vector sum of all the forces. That is principle of superposition we used for that. Okay. Then we took, after electric force, we went over to electric field. Concept of electric field. In electric field, we obtained the formula for force electric field due to a single point charge. Then multiple point charges. That is a system of discrete charges. Then we went over to electric dipole. We took the formula for electric field in these 3 cases. After that, we went over to concept of electric field lines. In electric field, we saw that if it's a positive charge, then electric field is directed away from the charge. And in case of negative charge, the electric field is directed towards. Now to show this electric field pictorially, we make use of such lines, and these lines are called electric field lines. So we took the concept of electric field lines and studied its characteristics, in which main characteristics were they emerge from positive and tend to negative. These electric field lines shows the electric field in a picture form. That's what we studied there. Counting the number of electric field lines, we talked about electric flux. In chapter number 1, we talked about electric flux. Electric flux was number of field lines passing through any surface. After electric flux, we obtained it as E bar dot A bar, the general formula. And in case of non-uniform electric field, we obtained it this way. Surface integral of E bar gives electric flux. Surface integral of E bar gives electric flux. Then we studied Gauss's theorem, in which electric flux was total charge enclosed within the surface upon epsilon 0. The ratio of total charge enclosed within the surface and epsilon 0. That we call as electric flux. Using these 2 formulas for flux, we obtain the formula for electric field intensity in different cases. Electric field, here we studied for single point charge, multiple charges, and then electric dipole. Here, using Gauss's, we obtain electric field intensity for 3 cases: linear charge distribution, surface charge distribution, in which we took 2 cases: plane surface charge and spherical surface charge, which is also called shell. And we took just the formula for volume charge distribution, and that we complete electric field here. So in first chapter we studied the main concept was electric charge, electric force, and electric field, the field lines and electric flux. This is what we covered in chapter number 1, properties of static charges, and that's called electrostatics. In chapter number 2 we'll be continuing with, in chapter number 2 we'll be adding the concept of electric potential. And along with that we'll be studying potential difference. Now for you, electric potential is a new word, but potential difference is not new for you. This you have mentioned somewhere in 10th standard. What that potential difference is, we will be seeing here. Concept of electric potential and potential difference. Then we will also be studying electric potential energy in this chapter. In standard 11, chapter number 6, we have seen about different types of energies, in which we studied kinetic energy, potential energy. Potential energy, we had different types. There we studied gravitational potential energy and elastic potential energy. Here we are going to study electric potential energy. So this is regarding electric potential and electric potential energy. There is another property of charge we'll be studying here. Also, along with that, we'll be studying capacitance. What is capacitance basically? For us, it's a completely new concept. Capacitance is nothing but it's a device to store electric charge. We store the electric charge when available, and when there is a scarcity of charge or we want more charge, at that time capacitor supplies us the charge. So that is the concept of capacitance. More details we'll be studying in the chapter itself. But right now, just to give an idea, we are studying electric potential, potential difference, and electric potential energy. That are the properties of charges. So after studying this, all the properties of electric charge will be complete. So our electrostatics concepts will be complete. Then studying the capacitance, capacitance and capacitors. Now what is this capacitor? Capacitor is a device to store electric charge. So storing electric charge also what we are going to study here in this chapter. So this is regarding our second chapter, what we will be studying here. No doubt, it looks like there are only 4 headings, but it's not so. The chapter is as much bulky as the previous chapter, full of basic concepts and understandings. Now, just to introduce chapter number 2. From chapter number 1, we had studied that surface integral of E bar. Surface integral of E bar, yani integrating E bar over a surface, gives us some meaningful value called electric flux. Surface integral of E bar gives us electric flux. So scientists thought that line integral should also give some meaningful quantity. If surface integral of E bar is giving some meaningful quantity called electric flux, then line integral of E bar should also give some important quantity or something important. Let's begin the chapter from here. Chapter number 2. So what we saw is that in previous chapter we saw that electric field, when done surface integral and integrating E bar over surface, gives us some meaningful quantity called electric flux. Fine. So that is regarding surface integral of E bar. Scientists thought that if surface integral is giving some meaningful quantity, then line integral of E bar also should give some meaningful quantity. Integrating E bar over a line should also give some meaningful quantity. Then line integral of E bar should also give some meaningful quantity. What this is, they didn't know, but based on this, they commented this, that if surface integral of E bar gives some meaningful quantity called electric flux, then line integral of E bar also should give some meaningful quantity. What it is, they didn't know. So let's see what happened. What is it? Let's take E bar dot dl bar. What is E? E is electric field intensity. It is given as force per unit charge, as we defined in previous chapter. Force per unit charge is electric field intensity into dl bar. Now, seeing here, F bar into dl bar, force into displacement gives work done. In the numerator, force into displacement gives work done. So this one work done per unit charge. So E bar dot dl bar should give work done per unit charge. E bar dot dl bar will give work done per unit charge. Integrating over a line, meaning taking the total work done per unit charge over a line, moving from one point to another point. Let us say we remove L and we say from A to B. Then what will this give? This will give work done per unit charge to move it from A to B. So integration E bar dot dl bar should give work done to move a unit charge from A to B. So from this I came to the conclusion that line integral of E bar from A to B should give work done to move unit positive from A to B. Means what? If suppose there is a path, there is a point A and this point B. To move 1 coulomb charge from A till B, moving from A to B, the work required is in line integral of E bar or dl bar. If we go from A to B along this path, fine, work done is found out. If we take some other part and reach here, work done might be different. If we take some third part and reach here, then work done should be different. No, it is found that this work done per unit charge, it is found that this work done per unit charge does not depend on path, does not depend on path followed. But depends on A and B, initial and final state. So what we find is that this line integral of E bar, this line integral of E bar is work done to move unit charge from A to B, and this work done does not depend on the path, whether you move through path 1, path 2 or path 3, it doesn't matter, the work done remains the same. So it is not depending on path, but depends on the initial and the final state. So we can say that it is state dependent function. It is state dependent. It's not path dependent but state dependent. Meaning line integral of E bar is work done to move unit charge from one point to other point, does not depend on the path followed. From which path you go is not important. From where you start and where you end is important. That is the initial and the final state. ये कुछ जाना पहचाना वर्डिंग है कि वर्क डन डज नॉट डिपेंड ऑन द पाथ फॉरवर्ड बट डिपेंड्स ऑन द इनिशियल एंड द फाइनल पोजीशन. कुछ याद आ रहा है? ऐसा ही हमने कुछ डिस्कस किया हुआ है. थिंक अबाउट इट. It was somewhere in chapter number 6, standard 11, work, energy and power. We were discussing energy at that time and we studied potential energy. Regarding concept of potential energy, we said that in case of gravitational field, when the body is moved from one point to another point, the work done does not depend on the path followed. And that work done gets stored in the body in form of electric potential, gravitational potential energy. That's what we are studying. So there we defined the concept of conservative field. Conservative. There we define the concept of conservative field and conservative force. Now what is this conservative field and conservative force? Conservative field is such a field. Conservative field is such a field in which work done does not depend on the path followed. किस path से जा रहे हो? It does not matter. What matters is from where you start and where you end. Here no one cares about which path you are moving. हाँ, कहाँ से कहाँ तक is important. किस path से जाओ, that is not important. That is the concept of conservative field. Hope you remember we had taken an example of our studies. We are required to achieve certain target, maybe 90%. From 0 to 90% is what we have to achieve. Does not depend on the path followed. It depends only whether you achieved it or not. किस path से achieve करते हो नहीं, वो उस पर कोई केयर नहीं करता है. इसीलिए हम लोग ऑनेस्टली करते थे पर 40% आते थे. इसलिए हमने थोड़ी डिसऑनेस्टी शुरू की, चिट बनाना शुरू किया, पड़ोसी के साथ हेल्प लिया एंड सो ऑन. वी समहाउ ऑब्टेन 90. हाँ, एवरीवन इज हैप्पी. योर मार्कशीट नाउ कैरीज 90%. बट विच पाथ यू फॉलोड, नो वन केयर्स. I do not promote dishonesty, but the thing is that what our society right now requires is your target, not the path followed. पर हमें ऐसा नहीं करना. We have to imbibe values in us. We should be very careful we don't take a wrong path. ये तो मैं तुम्हारी philosophy create कर रहा हूँ mentality का, भाई ऐसा ध्यान रखने का. Conservative field teaches us that. It says that the work done does not depend on the path followed, depends only on the initial and the final state. So electric field now becomes a conservative field. 11 में हमने ग्रेविटेशनल फील्ड को कंजर्वेटिव फील्ड प्रूव किया था. 12 में हम लोग इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड को कंजर्वेटिव फील्ड प्रूव कर रहे हैं. एंड thus the electric force now becomes a conservative force. So by conservative force we mean it is a force under the influence of which work done does not depend on the path followed but depends only on the initial and final position. That's called a conservative force, and such a field in which this happens is called conservative field. So here side by side we prove electric field as a conservative field. हाँ, अगर आपने ए से शुरू किया, मूव एंड कम बैक टू पॉइंट बी, यानी इनिशियल फाइनल स्टेट इज सेम, तो हाउ मच इज द वर्क डन? इनिशियल फाइनल स्टेट इज सेम, वर्क डन इज 0. सो इन केस ऑफ कंजर्वेटिव फील्ड, इफ यू टेक अ क्लोज पाथ, यानी स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम वन पॉइंट रिटर्निंग टू द सेम पॉइंट, whether it is a circular path or any other shape, any damn shape it is, the work done comes out to be 0 because initial and final state is same. That is a conservative field. In case of conservative field, if you start from one point, return back to the same point via any path, maybe circular or any path, the work done is 0 always. on the closed path or closed loop, work done is always zero in case of conservative field. सर अपना क्वेश्चन तो अभी भी रह गया कि ई बार का सरफेस इंटीग्रल गिव्स इलेक्ट्रिक फ्लक्स एंड व्हाट अबाउट लाइन इंटीग्रल ऑफ ई बार, वो तो डिफाइन किया, नहीं बाकी सारी बातें कर ली. सो नाउ अगेन द कॉन्सेप्ट रिमेन्स द सेम. लाइन इंटीग्रल ऑफ ई बार फ्रॉम ए टू बी, व्हाट डज इट गिव? It is work done to move unit pulse charge from one point to another point, not path dependent but depending on the initial and the final state. पर यह है क्या चीज? यह है क्या चीज? Let's think it over. Pause the video and think it over and then we start. So returning back, did you get any idea what it is? Blank? कोई बात नहीं, चलो आगे चलते हैं. क्या बात हुई थी? Surface integral of E bar gives a meaningful quantity called electric flux. Then line integral of E bar also should give some meaningful quantity, and we fix it out as work done to move a unit charge. Work done per unit charge. That is what we obtained. E bar dot dl bar. Now here, suppose is a path. Let's say starting from A to B, some unit charge has to be moved from one coulomb from A to B. That is what this line integral gives. Normally, what we do is that we take the starting point as reference. Out of these 2 points, we take one point as reference. So usually we take initial position as reference point, and as a this we take it as reference point. And as a reference point, usually we take it as origin. 11th के experience से पता लग गया कि we take initial point as origin normally, but here in our case we'll take it as infinity. We take it as infinity. So what you now get is work required to move a unit positive charge from infinity to a given point. फिर से एक बार ध्यान से सुनना. वर्क डन टू मूव प्लस वन को यूनिट पॉजिटिव चार्ज फ्रॉम इंफिनिटी टू अ गिवन पॉइंट. कुछ याद आ रहा है? ऐसा सुना हुआ हमने. वर्क रिक्वायर्ड टू मूव अ यूनिट पॉजिटिव चार्ज फ्रॉम इंफिनिटी टू अ गिवन पॉइंट इन द फील्ड. टू अ गिवन पॉइंट इन द फील्ड. वर्डिंग कनेक्ट करता हूं. वर्क रिक्वायर्ड टू मूव अ यूनिट मास 1 kg मास फ्रॉम इंफिनिटी to a given point in the gravitational field. आ गया वर्ड यार, ग्रेविटेशनल पोटेंशियल. तो ये वैसा ही है, ग्रेविटेशनल पोटेंशियल के बजाय इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड है तो इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल हो गया. सो दिस इज व्हाट इट गिव्स, इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल एट पॉइंट बी. सो दिस लाइन इंटीग्रल ऑफ E bar dot dl bar is electric potential at point B. So what we get now? Electric potential we denote by V, and it is given as work required to move, and line integral of E bar to move from infinity to given point. That's what we obtain. Now here, when we talk about bringing from infinity to a given point, so suppose एक चार्ज है प्लस क्यू, इसके अपने इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड, आप यूनिट पॉजिटिव चार्ज प्लस वन कूलम चार्ज है इंफिनिटी पर पड़ा हुआ है. इट हैज टू बी ब्रॉट फ्रॉम इंफिनिटी टू अ गिवन पॉइंट बी. यहां पर ला रहे हैं, तो दैट बिकम्स इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल एट पॉइंट बी. दैट बिकम्स इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल एट बी. तो वी राइट वीबी, इलेक्ट्रिक पोटेंशियल एट पॉइंट बी. अब ये भी पॉजिटिव चार्ज, ये भी पॉजिटिव चार्ज, इलेक्ट्रिक फील्ड भी पॉजिटिव का लिया हुआ है, इसको भी पॉजिटिव लिया. टेस्ट चार्ज तो हमेशा पॉजिटिव होता है. टेस्ट चार्ज इज ऑलवेज पॉजिटिव प्लस वन कूलम. तो ये भी पॉजिटिव, ये भी पॉजिटिव. आएगा कैसे? देयर बी रिपल्जन. सो वर्क हैज टू बी डन अगेंस्ट द रिपल्सिव फोर्स, अगेंस्ट, सो माइनस साइन. As we are doing work done against the repulsive force, so it will be negative. So there here, so now what we define finally as electric potential as work required to move a unit positive charge from infinity to a given point against the electric field is called electric potential at that point. It's called electric potential at that point. Now B point पे लाओ तो B पे potential, A पे लाओ तो A पे potential. तो potential point A हो जाएगा, यहाँ पे potential point B हो जाएगा. तो अगर A से B ले जा रहे हो तो we know that head of two vectors when connected it gives subtraction. So moving from A to B, VA minus VB will give you, sorry, VB minus VA, final minus initial, will give you potential difference across 2 points A and B. So it gives potential difference across 2 points A and B. Potential we define from infinity to a given point. Potential difference we defined as integration E bar dot dl bar moving from A to B. So that is a potential difference across points A and B. So potential difference यानी क्या? किसी एक पॉइंट से किसी दूसरे पॉइंट पे ले जाने में what is the work done to move a unit charge? That is called potential difference between 2 points or across 2 points. So we get a concept of potential and concept of potential potential difference. Now this potential difference right now is not the same we are studying in 10th standard. Little bit later we'll go on to connect it to 10th standard. Is the concept clear now? Once again revising, electric potential is the work required to move a unit positive charge from infinity to a given point in the electric field. Infinity से given point पे ला होगा unit positive charge को, तो that work done is called electric potential at that point. And अगर एक point से दूसरे point पे ला electric field में, तो that is called potential difference across 2 points. फिर से एक बार, infinity से given point पे ला electric field में तो potential, and एक point से दूसरे point पे ले जाओ तो potential difference across the 2 points. Is this clear?